Yeah, 3, 2, 1, let's go. We are here, 401 Sportsbook Network on YouTube, Mr. 401 on TikTok and Instagram, and Mr. Steve Duvall is in the building. When Mr. Steve Duvall is here, you know it's gonna be good. And look, and today we're gonna dive into the football officiating. We're gonna talk about the new rule. Well, not the new rule, but just the upgrade to the rule, the changes to the rule, targeting at the collegiate level. But we'll talk about it from the collegiate standpoint and the high school standpoint, and that's why Mr. Duval is here. And then we also have a special announcement that we're going to make on this episode. So you have to hang around and be ready for that special announcement. You don't want to miss it. What's going on, Mr. Duval?
Everything's everything there, Mr. Jones. How you doing, man?
Hey, I can't complain. I'm glad to be here. Glad to be seen, not viewed. And and I want everybody to view us today. And
That's
as far as on virtually view us, and want people to check us out here today on
yeah,
41 Sports World Network. Hey man,
yeah.
I'm excited about this targeting rule and the changes that were made to the rule. Um, so we'll throw some of that stuff up,
Okay.
and we can start off by you talking about what is targeting.
Okay. Targeting is an act when you actually trying to hit the player, above the shoulders. And oftentimes they use the helmet as the focal point, leading with the helmet, uh, and hitting the player, you know, wherever, you know, with with that helmet. It's for safety to get more injuries have happened with the helmets, the concussion stuff and everything else that's been going on, the conversations about concussions and all of that. So they're trying to take all of that action up around the helmet, up around the neck area, and take it out of football. And so targeting came about, as far as, just trying to bring some more safety into football. And this college football rule, they really, when they put it in, they put some stiff penalties in there with this rule. You know.
Yeah, and
So,
they did. I mean, 'cause think about like the last couple seasons with the rule, where they basically have said, what if you get charged with if you get called for the penalty, a foul of targeting, you would then miss the next half. So if you was had a targeting penalty foul called against you in the first half, you was gonna miss that second half. But if you have that penalty called against you in the second half of the game, then you're gonna miss the first half of the next game. And
right.
so that's one of the things they're looking at correcting now or changing is that they're going to lessen the blow on that as far as that goes. But how do you feel about that?
Well, I feel good about it because oftentimes, and see, this rule has been in place long enough now to where the instruction coming from the coaches should be teaching these kids how to tackle. You know, back in the day, man, you got him down the best way you could. You hit him with your head. You lay all kind of stuff. Everything was pretty much allowed in football. All kind of hits and everything else. So making the adjustment in the college game has taken some time. The kids who are used to tackling in a certain way, this rule has been out there long enough now to where they've been taught for several years how to tackle. So it shouldn't be any excuse. It shouldn't be a reason for a player to be using this method of tackling now, because if they've been coached right and taught right, then they would know not to target in the game. Not so, but in the heat of battle, understand again, and we've had this discussion before, Tyrone. Football is a very, very violent sport. I love it to death, but it's violent out there, man. It's some hidden going on, and when you're right next to that action, man, you know you really see the impact when somebody, you got a 250-pound linebacker hitting somebody that's about a buck 85 or something like that. The impact that they can make just with the force that they're hitting somebody. I mean, it's violent. And they're teaching that, to hit them as hard as you can. Every time you hit somebody, hit them, this way, that way. But it can still be uh, a safer environment if we take out certain things in the game and eliminate certain actions in a football game. But it's still a high risk sport for injury and everything else. You're still taking chances, with all the rules that they got in place. When you go on that football field, that one play that you're playing in right now might be your last play. Could very well, well, you never play again. So I understand that from watching the sport as much as I love it, you know, uh, I know it still is a violent sport.
Yeah, it's like car crashes, right? I mean, I mean that's basically how violent it gets. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And people go to NASCAR. Some people go to see the race, but a lot of people go to see the crashes.
yeah.
So uh but again, you know, if a kid is taught right, if a player is taught right, and I keep saying kids, but they grow up in the game and they become adults in the game. If they are taught right and they're taught sportsmanship, uh, then there's certain ways to play to keep it as safe as possible, even if you're hitting somebody hard. It's some tactics that you can that you can take away from the game, that would make it safer. And oftentimes, dirty play, it has no place in football, to be playing. And good athletes know when someone is playing without good sportsmanship, doing things that aren't legal, doing things outside the rules of the game.
hmm Now, as an official, when you're out there and everything happens so fast, it happens a lot faster when you're actually out there working the game, as opposed to someone watching the game like I would be watching it from the television or from the stands. What are some of the keys as an official that you kind of dive into and use as your reference points when you're out there to determine whether a player is targeting? The offensive player.
Okay. Uh, it depends on what position you're working as an official. If you're the referee, then pretty much your key is always going to be the quarterback or the kicker or the punter, depending on what down they in or whatever. If it's just a regular scrimmage play, then we're keying on the quarterback. So my job is to protect that quarterback, is to watch the action around him. And there have been times I've been caught when I was refereeing, taking your eye off the action, right? Like he'll throw a pass into another area, and my key is still a quarterback. So when the pass is gone, I still need to be looking at him. And there are times when you have a lapse, mental lapse or something like that, you take your eye off the quarterback. Next thing you know, he's been hit uh, uh, violently or something. Something has happened and you didn't see it. He was roughed, or something was going on. So if you're the referee, you need to be watching that quarterback. If you're working the line of scrimmage or what they call the flanks, right across the line of scrimmage and everything, then you're keying on those tackles, watching those tackles as an umpire behind the defense. You're watching the center guard, the two guards in the center, in the middle. You're watching what they're doing, how they're blocking and everything. And then, of course, if you're working deep, you're watching those wide outs and the receivers. You're trying to see what they're doing. So everybody has a job as the plays go on, and so you should be watching your keys. And if you watch your keys, then you can eliminate a lot of this stuff, these fouls and everything when they do happen. The worst thing that you want to happen in a ball game is, let's say somebody got hit illegally and the player was hurt and you didn't have a flag on the play. You didn't see it. And there was some illegal action that caused this player, to be down. Uh, so that's why you need to be concentrating, because every flag that you got, or every foul that's made out there, somebody was watching that foul and they saw it. But If you review the film after the game, and number 72 was holding the whole night, and he never got called for holding, then something's wrong. Somebody wasn't doing their job to allow this behavior to go on. Play after play after play. So there's certain
Yes,
things
sir.
watching every play.
Yes, sir. And so, like in this image here, like with number one here, making the tackle here on the player in the white jersey, like what would be something like from just giving the perspective from someone like myself who's not a football official, like what are you looking at to see, right? Is this targeting or not, or is this a clean hit?
First of all, is he leading with his helmet? Is he got his head down and he's not watching? He's just going in there without even seeing where he's going, pretty much. Because when you put your head down, you don't know what you're going to hit. So, are you looking at the player that you're getting ready to hit? Is this something that is this action? Are you leading with your elbow, or are you trying to hit? Are you trying to grab? And tackle the player? You're using your arms to tackle, and all of this. So all these things are keys that you're watching as that play develops. And in this particular instance, it's close, but I don't think he's pretty much leading with his helmet. He's got his
Hmm.
shoulder there, cocked to the side there, and looks like he led with his shoulder and trying to make contact there.
Okay. All right. And as you can see on the board there, we have some of the players that the player takes aim at an opponent for the purpose of attacking with forcible contact that goes beyond making a legal tackle or a legal block or playing the ball. So kind of keep those things in mind when you're watching the games, ladies and gentlemen.
Mhm.
But yeah, so the penalties now, you feel a lot better with it now with them adjusting that penalty instead of missing the first half of the following game.
Yeah. I, well, I'm gonna say I'm cautiously optimistic about the change in the rule. Now,
Okay.
here's the caveat to that. Let's say the game has already been decided, and let's say that a team is going into what they call the victory formation. The game is over. The quarterback is going to take a knee, and all of a sudden, this defensive end comes in there and targets and hits the quarterback, taking a knee with his helmet and everything. Well, of course, he's going to be. It's a foul. He's going to be thrown out of the game. But this is pretty much the last play of the game. So it kind of opens it up for situations like that. Does he have to sit out the next game? This game is pretty much over. Does
Yeah.
he have to sit out the next half an hour? According to the rule, no. But that's where coaching comes in. You can't allow players to do things like that and not suffer some sort of consequence. So whereas there might be some room to uh, circumvent the rule or something like that, then coaches need
Hmm.
to. If I had a player, if I'm a coach, and my player does that at the end of the game, then regardless of what the rule says, no, he's not gonna play this next half. He doesn't deserve it, and he's out there committing fouls like that, dirty fouls, and doing things like that. So coaching has something to do with that also. They have a responsibility in this situation. It's just like coaches shouldn't teach kids how to chop block, which is an illegal block. Wouldn't coach try to hurt somebody deliberately,
Right.
hold them up, and then the next guy comes in there and takes his knees out and that sort of thing. So why would you shouldn't coach anybody like that. So if somebody's doing that, it needs to be penalized. And it needs to be penalized not only on the field, but it needs to be penalized by the coaching staff also.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, look, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate you diving into that. And before we get totally off of the targeting rule, here's a graphic here. We'd love for you to kind of talk about this dealing with the helmet because we hear a lot of stuff about the crown of the helmet and this and that. So here's some different helmet locations. If you don't mind, can you just kind of break that down for us before we
Okay,
get to our big announcement later on?
right. So you see that red area. That
Yes,
red,
sir.
if he's gonna hit you with that red area, you know he's fouling. You know. because he's got to have his head down. You can't anybody sideways with the top of that helmet. So that crown is definitely off. Now, if you look at the side, the yellow portions and that sort of thing, it would be kind of difficult uh, to be making contact with that. But if it does, and it's not, let's say, a deliberate act, then that would be something you would probably you would allow, to pass. So that's that portion. You see that red portion? That's a no. You know, a player has no business now in the way they're taught how to tackle to lower their head and come in with a force with their head lowered like that, hitting somebody with the crown of that helmet. Yeah,
All right. So stay away from that red. All right.
right. Exactly. And oftentimes now you'll see if a player is trying to get low to tackle somebody, right? And he because they tell him, these big guys here you are, you're 150 pounds, you got to tackle this 240-pound running back. Well, you don't want to grab him up high in the first place, so you're going to want to hit him low. Now the problem might come when you're trying to get low to take this guy's ankles out or something like that, and then the offensive player gets low and goes low. So you could possibly have some incidental contact, which is not deliberate, with that crown up there. But that would be very, very seldom that you would see something like that happen. So you'd have to really see that play to see whether that was actually targeting or not. Now, uh, one thing in Division 1 football now, they have in all the games, and a lot of the games that are televised and everything, they do have review where they can review these plays and stuff. We don't have that luxury still in high school football. Uh, It's our judgment. It's a judgment call, and that's
Right.
probably one of the reasons why it's not an automatic ejection for targeting in high school football, because you might have misconstrued what you saw. You thought it was targeting, but then if you run it back in slow motion or whatever, it was a legal hit. So even if you penalize it, it's the player still doesn't have to be eliminated from the game and have to sit out for a half, anything like that. It's not an automatic ejection. Now, if you feel that it was so bad and so deliberate and everything else, you can eject a player for targeting in high school football. If you deem it necessary that it was a deliberate act, unsportsmanlike act, that you can, it wouldn't be necessarily for targeting, but you could eliminate him from the game for unsportsmanlike behavior. Which,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
Well, I like that loophole in there where it's not necessarily automatic ejection. It's the judgment because you don't have the access to the replay, and
right,
maybe one of these days replay will be utilized in high school sports throughout the season because you're right. The officials do have to make these decisions, and we're not. I don't know an official that's going to be 100%. You know what I mean? So
right,
the
right,
replay can come in handy and help us out. And I mean, I think it'd be better for the game overall.
right. Okay, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into this big announcement. Let's let everything roll here, and then we'll
Run,
after the
run
video
it.
plays. Was that?
Do we need a drum roll, Tyrone?
You can give us one. Drum roll, please. All right, here we go.
Hello, and away we go. And away we go. This is an official cherry blossom show. Cherry blossom show, time of the South edition. The Speedy Steve Show. Say what? The Speedy Steve Show. March 29th at 3 p.m. at the historic Douglas Theater in downtown Macon. Come one, come all. Sisters and brothers. Come one, come all. A variety show like no other. It's the Speedy Steve Show. Tickets on sale now. You will never, never, ever know who up next. You will never, never, ever know who up next. Hosted by the magical one and only Speedy Steve. Yeah!
All right, the Speedy Show.
Speedy Steve show. We
The
part
Speedy Steve Show.
Yeah, we partnered with the Douglas Theater uh, for the last 3 years to put on this variety show for the community and everything, and it's taken off and it's going pretty good. We have a good time with that show, and we bring in all types of talent from surrounding areas, and we really have a good time. It's good, clean fun. Uh, have some great comedians come in, just great talent, young talent, talent from the past. Just a big variety, and it's a matinee show that we do, and we do it twice a year. Like I say, we've been sanctioned by the historic Douglas Theater. They're celebrating their 105th anniversary this year, and we're all a part of that, and we're part of the Cherry Blossom Festival and everything. So we we just want everybody to come out and have a good time with us, and we've got a good show lined up this time, and just hope everybody would come out and support us and support the Douglas Theater too.
All right, definitely. All right, this Sunday, Speedy Show. All
All right.
right. Hey, and where get their tickets?
Um, to get the tickets right there, you can go online and get the tickets from the Douglas. You can just look up the Douglas Theater, and you can order them right over the right over the virtually right there with from the Douglas Theater. Uh, and or you can buy them at the door. You can get them when you get there. Now, mind you, the doors are gonna open around 2:30. Showtime is gonna be 3 o'clock. We like to start on time, so I I would suggest that you get your tickets early. Try to go on in and get them online so you can just get right on in that door and have your seat. Cause 3 o'clock it's going to be showtime, and who knows, we might be at when showtime hits, we might be jumping up in the air, staying 15 minutes or so there, Tyrone. No telling what we might do.
All right, and it said you never, and just in the song, it said you never know who's gonna be there. So, be ready for the Speedy Steve Show this Sunday. All right. Okay, we got slight difficulties here, but we're gonna play the video one more time, and we thank everybody for being taking the time to join us today for the show. Make it official, and we'll talk more football down the line with Mr. Duval. Everybody have a great one. We'll see you soon. And check us out on Spotify too. Have a great one.